Is it filming?
Yep.
Go.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to FAQ number 97. I just want to say thank you so much. You're all asking how my hand is healing or my thumb is healing. It's going great. I still have this awesome, cool-looking gangsta glove on, but I can actually take it off, and I can actually play a little bit of guitar now, which is amazing. I can't chug, very important, but at least I can, play some leads. I just have to pick really careful. I can't pick hard, Okay, you can't hear shit. So, I'm very happy. I can actually play a little bit of guitar, but I can definitely feel that I'm getting tired way more quicker, so I'm being a little careful, okay? So that's it, I guess. First question. Jonathan King. Hey Ola, I've been watching your videos since the original dual rectifier versus Englund Savage video. When recording, do you think your cabinet speaker choice is more important than the amplifier you're using? Also, do you really just slap an SM57, 58 in a good spot and not have to EQ aside from low and high pass for it to sit in a mix? Okay, I've actually made a video of this claiming that all the amps are the same. At the end of the day, the cabinet is basically 80 to 90% of the sound, in my opinion. So yes, in some way, I don't think that the actual speaker choice is important, but I definitely think that the mic'd up cabinet is very, very important for a guitar tone. Obviously, there's going to be differences between Randall Satan and dual rectifier sonically, but at the end of the day, if you're using the same cab and microphone setup, it's going to sound almost the same if you compare them side by side in a mix. Then, of course, it will be a lot easier to find the differences when you listen to them and A/B listen to them. But in a mix, doesn't really matter that much. And regarding the SM57, when I do the amp videos and all that, and I mic up my cabinet at home for videos, nowadays I just shove the microphone in a position and just leave it there, and that's the sound. I don't really work around or anything like that. And I think the reason why I'm taking this approach is mainly because a lot of people back in the day said that all my amplifier demos sounded the same. And I was searching for one type of tone. So my approach now is that basically I just take the microphone and just put it there, and that's the sound for that demo. Maybe it's shittier than the previous one or whatnot, doesn't matter. It's a different sound, it's a different position, and I'm liking that, to be honest. Sometimes I get a really good cabinet sound going, sometimes I do not. When recording album, it goes a little bit more into it, I would say. I would probably take a little bit of time to set up a good microphone and cabinet situation. But I'm definitely more of a fan of, setting up a good tone and just basically shaping the highs and the lows like you're saying, and not that much else, just some slight EQ. Because when you start being too surgical about removing frequencies and all that, the guitar starts to sound weird. It sounds more natural the less you EQ. Thank you for the question, great one. Ben Winchester, will you ever make a guitar? Possibly extended range, etc. Alright, so he's talking about humbucker, single coil, humbucker, single, humbucker, or humbucker, single coil guitars. And yes, I'm definitely open to doing that. We'll just see what the future will bring. I'm a big fan of the looks of a humbucker single coil, or a humbucker and a stacked single coil. I think that's like from when I owned a bunch of 540 P2 Ibanez guitars, and just looked insane. I'll see if I can find a picture of the one I refinished in red, just so you can get the look of it. Risky Nadaru. Hey Ola, can you hear different about real amp, pedal, etc. versus virtual, like bias, amplitude, etc.? Teddy Makashi. Oh, Teddy Makashi. That's thank you in, what is it? Indonesian. Are you from Indonesia? Oh, regarding the question, I would say it was a lot easier a couple of years back, but nowadays the plugins and the modelers are sounding better and better. But there's still something. I mean, when I make my guess that tone videos, there's just something about the tones that gives it away if it's a modeler or not. It's something in the high end that's kind of quirky. It's hard to put your finger onto it, but the high end is usually flat. Doesn't sound natural. But with that said, it's getting harder for me to distinguish if it's a real amplifier or a pedal or a virtual amplifier or modeler or plugin nowadays. Alessandro Arcili, hey Ola, just wondering, why are your FAQ videos usually released very early in the morning? Love your great content, thanks for what you do. I don't know. It kind of became a thing that I would post it early in the AM, Central European time. Around 7 AM is the time where I release the FAQs. I don't know why. It's probably the worst time of day to release a video. According to YouTube analytics, it's like the worst time ever because no one is up, basically only the Europeans and the drunk Americans, basically. Pegleg Jenkins, did you enjoy... If you're wondering where these questions are from, these are from the Discord channel for my members. Hi. I actually just played Quake for 1 hour before making this FAQ. I thought I would take off the edge of the adrenaline, but it didn't help. I'm all here and like, hey, what's up? Did you enjoy playing bass for At the Gates? Yes, obviously I did. I jumped in playing bass for At the Gates in Australia and New Zealand. Jonas, the bass player, who's also playing in The Haunted, he had to stay home because of a family tragedy. I jumped in on all the Slaughter of the Soul songs, basically all the cool songs. So I jumped in, played those, and it was awesome. But you know, for me, it's not really that big of a deal. I mean, these guys are my friends. But yeah, in hindsight, you know, playing bass with At the Gates, kind of cool. Maybe I have to put that on my resume. Or not. Stephen Austin, hey Ola, question for the next FAQ. What's the hardest, most technical demanding song solo you've ever learned on guitar? Great question. Oh, perfect. I think for me personally, the hardest solos or leads to learn on guitar has been and are still the Dimebag solos or Pantera solos. Why, you ask? Well, it's because his playing style is so fluid and, you know, unpredictable in a way. I mean, it's really hard to analyze what Dimebag did in the legatos and all. It's very like, it's all over the place. While with like Petrucci and the John Petrucci and the Dream Theater solo, it's really easy because everything is so on point, you know, it's very exact. He's just bending, doing a couple, you know, legato things and some alternate picking. It's very easy to figure out, and then obviously it's very hard to play, but at least it's easy to figure out and play slow. But with Dimebag, it's like, oh, you have to like stay really long on this bend, and then just in the syncopation of the next part, it's like you throw it off, and it's like really challenging, I must say. I still have a lot of problems just playing Dimebag solos because I just don't have that mentality in mind, which sucks. I mean, I'm a huge Dimebag fan, but you know, playing Dimebag and Pantera stuff is probably the hardest stuff for me ever. I used to remember like the Cemetery Gate. Okay, I have to take out the Dimebag guitar for this, obviously. And I promise you, you assholes, I am careful with my thumb, okay? So I remember like even learning like the Cemetery Gate solo. You know, even to this day, I have problems playing that solo because, you know, there's a lot of challenges in that solo. So this part, that thing, like the double, when he starts that legato run, he's starting with a double stroke on it. I remember that was throwing me off for such a long time. Like if you're a normal person, you would just do it like this. But he's like, that still kind of throws me off. These small little things and quirks is what makes it really hard for me to learn a Pantera solo, for instance. You know, I like control, but this is out of control for me. Don't worry about my finger, it's okay. Michael Kshesnyovsky. Positive comment. I'm incredibly sick. I can't see my girlfriend because of it. She isn't exactly put together upstairs, if you get what I'm saying. It's a struggle for me because, well, neither of us are all right in the head. I miss her. We can only speak over the phone or text. It's past midnight and Ola uploads a video. For 20 minutes I feel a little better. I support Ola in any way I can because of this. I bought the Ultimate Edition of Master of the Universe even though I don't even own a record player. But my question is, how do you handle being so positive, lol, even though life isn't always fair? Clap, positive comment. The world right now is an evil place in a lot of ways, but it's also a very beautiful place. And because we get hit by all that bullshit every single day, you know, reading the news, watching a social media or whatever, you see envy, you see evil, you see negative spirals and all that. I think and believe that my channel, even though someone unsubscribed right now, my channel being a happy place where people can go and watch and enjoy and forget about the bullshit that's happening outside their walls. And we gather together and talk guitar, we talk whatever, basically, metal. It's kind of like the common focus for a lot of you guys out there watching my channel. You're all metal dudes, or you play guitar, or maybe you just like to see my crotch on crotch cam. The goal of my videos is that I try to make people feel happy watching my videos, and I hope I do that. Even though I've been through a couple of challenges in my life, I feel very fortunate to be able to do what I do today, and it's, you know, I'm happy. I'm a happy person, I promise. If you meet me, I'm probably pretty happy. I know what things are making me happy today. It's my family, playing guitar, doing YouTube, solar guitars. I mean, all the things that make me happy. I like working a lot. That keeps me happy and positive, and I hope I portray that in a good way in my videos. So hopefully it can make you a little bit happier as well. And I hate to do this. I don't want to steal your question and plug my Discord, but I'm gonna plug my Discord. Become a member down there. But what I wanted to say is that on the Discord thing, we already created such an awesome community of people that are just there hanging, you know, people with everyday problems. We're just coming together, having a good time, talking guitars and metal, and just, you know, hanging out, play Quake, whatever. I'm trying to make a community where everyone can feel welcome and a sanctuary where people don't have to deal with bullshit and negativity, basically. So there you go. I'm a happy guy. That's why I'm being so positive in my videos. And I'm happy where I'm at today. And I'm happy to be here creating content for you guys. Michael Kshesnyovsky, we're out here for you. Write in the comment section, okay? Ola tasting shit. Alright, Ola tasting shit. I wish I had my cart with me. Ola tasting shit. Never tried this, but this is a root beer. From White Rock. I never tried a root beer before. What is it? I have no idea. It says caffeine-free root beer, caffeine-free root beer, caffeine-free root beer. Root beer. We don't have this in Sweden, only in the American section. So I bought one in the American section. Okay, here's a root beer. Oh, that tastes shit. Quality content. Ugh! Fucking hell. It tastes like medicine and toothpaste. Oh, that's the absolute worst. The fuck is this? Why would you drink this? Okay, just a disclaimer now after testing this. Do not try this. This is bullshit. Oh, the aftertaste also. Fucking hell. Legend Assassin. Ola, how's the studio build going? Also, will The Haunted do a US tour? Ola, how's the studio build going? Oh, positive Ola. I'm gonna stay positive. But yeah, it's not going that well. I can't build my attic. So I'm kind of like at a halt with building the studio, but I have a bunch of other ideas that I will try and make happen pretty soon, and maybe I'll share an update or something like that in the future. But as of right now, there's nothing happening in the attic more than the queen wasps making all their nests and hunting me down for revenge. Doogie MTB, what do you think about the Dillinger Escape Plan band? Dillinger Escape Plan, very famous band. I can't name one of their songs. You know, I've seen like live clips from their shows and they seem like super chaotic and, you know, entirely nuts when they play live. You know, climbing the monitors, jumping all over the place and, you know, hurting themselves. And it seems like an insane live band. I've never seen them live. And whenever I hear the music, it's like, oh, this is chaotic. But I never really got into them. But I should. I think I should. So please, if you can, recommend me a good Dillinger Escape Plan album in the comment section. Thank you so much. Joey Brewer. Ola, have you ever heard of Metallica? What do you think of them? Yes, I'm a fan of Metallica. I said that before. You know what? I think I didn't listen to anything after Load. I heard the singles. And, you know, the songs, the Sankt Anger songs. I always thought it was Sergeant Anger, by the way. So whenever I saw the album, I'm like, oh, Sergeant Anger. That's a great album name. But no, it's Sankt Anger. I mean, the old albums are awesome. But with that said, they're still incredible live, I must say. One of the best live bands out there. And you know, when you watch them live, it's so incredible to see their routine. I mean, these guys have been playing thousands and thousands of shows together. And it's just so awesome to see how happy they are playing their music. And it's incredibly inspiring. And it sounds super awesome as well. I mean, they perfected the band and their live set. And that I truly appreciate. And that's why I love Metallica still, because they still put out a really sick live show. Sky Demolisher, what is up above your speakers? Evangelion unit. And okay, I just want to be careful when I'm putting down this. Oh, that's not being careful. I'll take it easy. Okay, so maybe I can bring my GoPro. Oh, I'm calling this my GoPro, but it's a GoPro. Shit. Vad ger du mig för det? Ola, vad fan rolig du är. Rolig du är, Ola. Aj, slog I knä också. Okay, so what do we have here? Well, up on this pedestal right here, I have my Evangelion gang. My gang, man. So I have a bunch of Evangelions. There's a crawling one over there. And I have two 01 units, this one, and then I have, you know, the Asuka one. And there's an explosion in his balls right here. I didn't see, but yeah, his balls are basically exploding. That's not good. It's not good. And this, Robotech for you Americans out there. But yeah, it's from Across. It's my favorite movie back when I was a kid. So there you go. That's my little nerd corner for you. Oh, nerding. Oh, nerd. What the hell, HoPro? Did you just stop recording? All right, great. Oh shit, I forgot my power glove. Should put it on. Oh. Strength plus 10. Dominic Bertic. Hi Ola, I saw a video yesterday which talked about how many guitars does a person or pro guitarist really need. Since you own your own guitar company and have so many guitars, I wanted to ask you, what do you think about this? Does a person only really need one guitar for all his playing to get accustomed to his guitar and perfect playing on it, or do you think something else? Please shed some wisdom on this. Yes, I've seen this from time to time. People claim like, oh, you know, don't spend money on guitars. You should learn playing guitar instead. For me personally, I've always bought and sold guitars and amplifiers. And you know why? Because it's fun. Don't give me that bullshit and tell me that I need to play guitar first. I'm doing it because it's fun. I mean, who are you to tell me not to buy awesome guitars? I mean, you know, I can't play like Danbag, but I want to play his shit because it inspires me. For me personally, buying stuff has always inspired me. You know, if I have a new guitar like this, it inspires the hell out of me. You know, who gives a shit? If you want to buy guitars, go buy guitars. That's okay. It's a free world out there. If you like to sit there with your one guitar and shred all day and become the best guitar player in the world, that's okay. You can do that as well. But don't give us other intermediate guitar players shit for buying a lot of gear. That's just being envious right there. So stop that bullshit. Oh shit, Power Glove is not working on guitar. Only works in Quake.
Old Englund, the cocksucker, has the quad.
Oh, and that was the last question. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comment sections below. If you're a member, thank you so much. You're my most beautiful, beautiful member out there. Discord, see you later. We're playing Quake. You and me, Robin. Gonna whoop your ass. All of you other people, subscribers, men, women out there, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Please subscribe if you haven't. See you next time. Thank you, bye.